You haven't tried a saber until you've tried the Sigi Pro. My hyperactive hussars, my cavalier cavalrymen. What is the ultimate sparring saber? A saber that has amazing hand protection and great looks. I present to you the Sigi Pro saber. I've had this training sword for over a year and a half, and I've sparred with it quite heavily, and to this day it is still my absolute favorite saber that I've tried. And I've tried a lot. We have students here who use Regaignes and Castiles, and we have this Black Fencer 1796, which I also really like. But there's just something so cool about the Sigi Pro and all of the things that it does. I'm very excited to delve deep into this sword and go over all of its features, as well as what role this specific type of saber plays when compared to other brands. If you guys don't know, Sigi Forge is an extremely reputable company that makes sabers, longswords, and other swords as well. They cost a premium, but I'm here to tell you there's a good reason for that. Transparency with this, I purchased this sword with my money. This was not sent to me for free. Not only have I sparred quite heavily with the sword, but I lend this sword out to new students all the time, and the consensus has been pretty clear throughout the year. Everyone seems to like it a lot. And you can see by how dirty it is, this is not what this sword looks like when you first get it. This is with a lot of use, and we're going to talk about its current condition after that year and a half of heavy sparring. But let's talk about the purchasing experience with Sigi first before we delve in. Sigi swords can be quite expensive, and the wait times for them can be quite long depending on what you get. If you have a custom sword made by them, you can expect to wait a little longer, which this technically had some custom features on it. What I love about the Sigi shopping experience is their custom builder. It's quite unique, and you get to actually see what your sword potentially might look like based on the features you ask for. So I think that that's a great place to start. Let's bring this sword to the table and see what options I purchased when I made my custom order. Let's go. Starting with the hilt, you'll see the patina from all of its use. This came a lot more shiny, but the very back of the sword has this screw. It's a large hex screw, and this allows the blade to be completely disassembled, and I can also replace the back strap and guard quite easily. Moving down the grip, this was a very dark green when I got it. It of course has some wear from just a lot of people using it, but it came extremely striking. And I still like the way it looks even with all of the sweat and grime on it, but it has a very nice wire wrap that has never come loose. And I can't even say that that's the same case for antiques that I've used, that I've purchased, because a lot of them have loose wires. This has been tight the whole way through. Moving to the back, I opted for a back strap, a partial back strap with the stippling right there, and I really like the way it feels on both the palm and the thumb. And that little ramp down right there that goes to the pommel is also very, very comfortable with the hands. Moving to the guard, this bell guard is what makes a Sigi Pro a pro. This unique guard style with these lobes on the side offer so much hand protection without having to have a full basket. I really feel like I can fight like a saber with having almost what would be akin to a basket guarding my entire hand. I rarely get hit in the hands with this sword because of this design. I think it's really, really nice. The merger of the blade and the guard is very utilitarian. There is that little ramp up right there, which I think makes this look a little more purposeful, but I wouldn't say that it is particularly attractive or special. You can still see the small little gap between the sword and the ramp up right there. But overall, I think it looks better than most of the sparring sabers we have. There's just nothing special there. If you want to make it look a little better, you could add a leather washer, which would make it look a little bit more like an actual military saber. Moving down to the blade, you have a fuller at the very top, going down, and it has a slight curve. Now, you can opt to have a much steeper curve on the sword if you want it. Most of the antique swords I have are of this curvature, and so I wanted something that reflected that. We do have a version of this sword with a heavier curve, and I hope that I'll be able to get it in to show you guys. At the very end here, we have a flat, semi-spatulated tip, and this has worked just fine. We've not had any issues with the thrust, and I think overall, if I were to just have it without a tip on it, it still looks really nice. Your tournament and school will vary, so you may have to tip this sword for it to be legal in any kind of sparring. This bell guard, as we talked about, is one of the more unique features of the Pro model. I believe this is special order only now. I can't seem to find the specific guard on their site, but they have all of the other types of guards you can buy, which will all fit on this sword. I personally want a 3-bar guard just because I have a lot of antiques with 3-bar guards, so I might get that in the future, but this is the most protective by far. One of the biggest drawbacks of this, outside of its availability, is its fitment with gloves. So we look at these, like these Pro gauntlets right here. These are a fingered glove, non-clamshell. They should theoretically fit, but they don't. Right here at the knuckle, because of this extra knuckle protection, it's not going to fit. When you're talking about clamshells, you're going to have even more of a problem right there. This top part is not going to fit, and I mean, even if you do get it to fit, your hand is locked in position, and it absolutely sucks to use. Even gloves like the Gabriels, which are a 5-fingered glove, have trouble fitting in where the knuckles are. What gloves did finally work with this sword were these. These are the HF Armory Black Princes, and they fit like a glove. And you can see how much room I have still in there with the knuckle. I'm still able to turn it over. The combination of these gloves with the Sigi Pro Saber is a match made in heaven. I have full mobility with it, and it just works really well. If you don't have access to the Black Princes, you're most likely going to have to use some form of a soft glove, which with this style of hand protection, you could take that risk. I'm personally not willing to. I don't want someone to hit me right here where I don't have any real protection from the bell guard, and it breaks my pinky. And that truly depends on what your opponent's sword style is. If they're using a lighter dueling saber, you'll probably be okay with a softer glove. But if somebody were facing off with you with a military saber or even another Sigi Pro, I would opt for something a little more protective, such as the Black Prince gloves. But that brings me to the true magic of the Sigi Pro, and that is where it lies classification-wise. Typically in saber fighting, you have 2 different classifications. You have the military sword weight, and you have the dueling sword weight, and those are typically going to be called gymnasium sabers. Gymnasium sabers can get down to about 500 grams, whereas the lighter end of the military saber weights are usually at around 700, 750. And what makes the Sigi Pro so cool is it can go toe-to-toe with both. While it is technically in the military saber weight, it doesn't feel like it. It is extremely light in the hands, but it still has the ability to push other sabers out of its way. Let's take a look at the Black Fencer 1796, for example. This is what you would consider to be more of a traditional military saber weight. If you look at what a true 1796 is, it's a light cavalry sword. It's not meant for lightweight dueling. It is a true military weapon. And the thing about the Black Fencer model, it was modeled to be balanced and weighted close to the original models. This sword easily goes toe-to-toe with the 1796 on a weekly basis. In fact, I just fought somebody yesterday with it, and this sword still can move a 1796 around. But I want to show you a comparison between the weight of this sword with this sword and some antiques. The weight of the Sigi Pro puts it at 792-ish grams. This puts it mostly within a military saber weight. Let's take a look at the Black Fencer 1796 light cavalry sword. This is the HEMA sparring safe version. This is at 722 grams. This puts this sword at a lighter weight than the Sigi Pro, and I would probably say that's because of the bell guard. Now, when we take an antique 1822 British light cavalry sword, that comes in at 826 grams, which is just slightly heavier than the Sigi. And lastly, we have a late 18th century 1821 pattern, and this is a lighter Troopers version, and that comes in at 770. So this comes in slightly lighter than the Sigi Pro. The point of balance is about 6 to 7 inches from the bell guard, but that bell guard just makes this sword it feels a lot further back than it actually is. I would say that it feels on par with the antiques that I have. It doesn't fatigue my hand to hold it into guards, and I can move it quite fast. That being said, it isn't going to feel like a dueling saber at all. It's going to have more authority in that cut, and the ability to move that blade and bully is going to be there. In most of the sparring sabers that I've used, you either have to pick if it's going to have the agility of a dueling sword, or if it's going to have the forward heaviness of a light cavalry feeling sword. That contrasts what I feel with the antiques that I have, because even most of the light cavalry swords I have, they still have a very light feel to them, at least in my opinion. All of that is going to be subjective, of course, to how strong you are and how strong your wrists are. I find that the Sigi Pro is a really good middle ground. It's agile enough to deal with a lot of the lighter dueling sabers I have, but as soon as I go up against something that has the weight of a light cavalry sword, this sword is able to keep up with it. It definitely has the looks of a dueling saber, of a later period dueling saber, but it has the construction of a military saber. Let's check out some sparring highlights I've taken over the past year.
Post fight so far, really like it. I'm not seeing any damage. Feels pretty good in the hands. It doesn't feel too light, but it also doesn't feel super sluggish. I would say, like, compared to a VB, the VB is like way more like hatchety.
You do want to have good wrist protection for these, just like a basket hilt. I took a little bit of a hit on the wrist, wasn't too bad.
How were the body hits on that? They weren't too bad?
They were, I mean, about what I'd expect. It's not as heavy as like a broad blade.
How would you compare it to like VB Hungarian, the big one?
It's got a lot more flex. I feel safe to take a couple stabbing thrusts at it, especially I like trying to get that curve around with this one.
I like the guard. It did protect my hand pretty well. Bell guard is somewhere in between a knuckle bow and something like a basket hilt. I mean, it's nowhere near as protective as a basket hilt, but it gives way more protection than your simple D-ring or your D-guard. And I caught it a few times. Caitlin actually had a direct thrust with a curve, so it's really impressive. Right on the bell, right on it. It stopped it. I don't see any dings on it. It feels great in the hand, and I honestly didn't feel super fatigued from using it. I've used heavy sabers like the VB one.
I would definitely recommend these blades over like VB because they have a lot more flex with them. We've talked about the VB saber is a much thinner blade than my Scottish broadsword, but my Scottish broadsword has a lot more flex than the VB swords, and that goes for, I would say, all of VB swords. So if you want to have something that's really safer, I would go with the Sigi. If you like the thrust a lot, you gotta go with something that has flex, and this has it.
Switch swords. How does it feel to use the curved Sigi saber?
Interesting. I'm used to the straighter ones, but I do like the curves. So.
And so, as somebody who uses the curved one all the time, how is using the straighter Sigi saber?
It feels a tad easier to move around because you don't gotta worry about the curve getting caught up everywhere.
Let's talk about the blade after over a year of sparring. While there is a little bit of file work that I need to do from recent sparring matches I've had with it, these are small things that a tiny file would take off in about 2 minutes. There are no significant dings or chips in the blade, which is crazy because we've hit this thing very hard. The other Sigi that we have here as well, the other Sigi Pro that's more curved, is very similar. shape. So the consistency with the heat treat and the construction of the blade is stellar. This is really good, guys. This is a lot better than some of the other blades we've had for the same amount of time. Sigi just consistently, with all the blades we have, tend to be this way. And currently, no sets in the blade at all. It is completely straight. That about wraps up our review of the Sigi Pro Saber. I probably shouldn't have to tell you by now that I 100% recommend Sigi Sabers if you can be patient through the waiting period and if you can afford the price tag. I have no doubt that this sword is going to continue to serve me well. It looks great, it feels good, and it has been very durable. It's a consistent response for people to pick this up in our saber and broadsword class and immediately have it as their favorite. The vast selection of options that you can use to customize this particular sword is insane. From color to handle style, back strap, and guard style, even blade curvature. And many people compete with this sword already. While this particular guard style might not be widely available anymore, the other guards that they have that you can have on this sword can fit your personal style or protective needs. If you do happen to find this particular style of guard, make sure that you can find the correct gloves for it, because it will make it a little difficult to fit gloves, and that might be why this potentially was either discontinued or is on special order only. But if their other guard styles are as durable and as attractive as this one, I don't think you're going to be unhappy with whatever you get. One thing I would caution you is, if you are going to purchase this sword, know that it is most likely going to be forced into the military saber weight. So please pay attention to your competition rules and or school rules for what they require for their sabers. This sword will even keep up with the Scottish broadswords that we have within our class, mostly the bigger and heavier black fencer Highland broadswords. I'll provide a link in the description where you can purchase them. We don't get any kickback for this, we just really like their products. And if you're looking for a saber that'll last the test of time, definitely check them out. We also have some amazing new developments that are happening with our organization. The first thing is we are now making our own fetters. This is the Rhine Fetter. This is a design that we came up with ourselves and that our students currently use. And it took over a year to come up with this prototype. I'm looking to have this sword sold for under $350 within the United States. It was designed by over 4 longsword instructors and tested by over 60 fencers to find the perfect balance of affordability, aesthetics, and durability. It has great flex, it looks good, and is completely safe to use for sparring. If you're interested in getting one when we get our first shipment in, we have a link in the description where you can put your email in and you'll know exactly when orders open. And secondly, we're going to be hosting our own combat convention in 2027. Blades of the Dominion is an ambitious project that we've been working on for about a year and a half. It is one part Ren Fair, another part competition, and all fun. We have instructors already coming from other reputable events. We have a saber tournament, a longsword tournament, even a Western knife fighting tournament, and most excitedly, an all-steel kenjutsu tournament, all with prizes. And I also can't forget to mention we're going to have an archery tournament as well. And it's going to be hosted in Wakefield, Virginia at a unique convention center that is both nature preserve and modern convention center. There's going to be modern accommodations, hotel stay, and campgrounds as well. If you're interested to learn more about Blades of the Dominion, I'll provide the link below so you can get notified as soon as tickets go live. And if you're a vendor, presenter, or competitor, there'll be special links for you guys as well. Thanks for joining me for this review, guys. Until then, I got nothing else for you. Bye. Oh. Ah, very nice. I got it on the guard mostly.